Hello everyone, my name is Lisa Nazifa. I'm from Human Resource Development Agency, Jakarta Province. At this moment, I want to present my paper entitled Issues in Coaching and Mentoring in Basic Training for Civil Servant Candidates, a Qualitative Study. Introduction. The regulation of the head of the State Administration Agency number 12 of 2018 concerning basic training for civil servant candidates mandates that the training is performed in both classical and non-classical forms. The non-classical learning includes coaching and mentoring. The purpose of the coaching is to maximize the potential of training participants in accomplishing achievements and obtaining satisfaction at the training venue and at work. The purpose of mentoring is to provide support, guidance, input, and share experience with the training participants in applying basic values and carrying out daily work. Some issues were found in the coaching and mentoring that could influence the effectivity of learning process and the result of study. The aim of this research is to study the issues commonly emerge in the coaching and mentoring, which could lead to ineffective coaching and mentoring. Furthermore, recommendation to prevent the issues from happening in the future is prepared, as well as the best solution available. Methodology. The research is performed with qualitative approach. The data for this research is collected through document study and deep unstructured interviews. The key informants are 8 training participants and 2 training organizers. Data analysis techniques used are data reduction, data testing, and conclusion drawing. Triangulation is used to facilitate validation of the data through cross-verification from more than 2 sources. Research was performed at BPSDM, or Human Resource Development Agency, Jakarta Province, in August 2019. Result and discussion. Some issues experienced by the training participant respondents concerning coaching are the availability of standard guidelines for the implementation of coaching to the preparation of the actualization reports. The absence of the standard guidelines is also the cause of the absence of standard guideline is also the cause of the differences in understanding between one coach to another. Next, the coach seemed to have lack of focus when conducting coaching, which might be caused by too many coaching groups held by one coach. Next, the quantity and duration of scheduled coachings felt insufficient by the training participants. However, some coaches are willing to provide additional coachings. Next, the room provided for the coaching activity was not properly managed, as sometimes more than one group of coaching was scheduled for the same room. Triangulation result between training participant and training organizing about coaching are: coaching implementation guidelines have been prepared in several meetings. However, some coaches prefer to have their own methods in coaching. Also, the regulation of the training itself is relatively new and has changed several times. Hence, there is no solid example for standard guidance. This allows training organizer to manage everything for themselves. Next, one coach is responsible in few coaching groups because the ratio between the number of coach and the number of training participants is quite big. However, the coach could coordinate with the training organizer if any assistance needed. Next, a coaching schedule of 3 times was drawn up, taking into account the number of coach and the number of training participants involved. As an alternative, additional coaching could also be provided electronically in addition to face-to-face. Next, the training organizer have been trying to facilitate all groups of coaching even though the rooms available for the coaching are limited. Some clash schedules also occurred due to schedule changing of coaching. Result and discussion. Some issues experienced by the training participants responding concerning mentoring are: the mentor knows so little about how to do mentoring. LS perform coaching-like activity. Thus, the mentoring is not optimal enough for the training participant. Next, the mentor involves his will in setting the problem-solving idea for the training participant, leaving the participant hesitate to say no. Next, the mentor have hectic activities. Hence, the schedule for mentoring often conflict with other more important agenda. Next, the mentor is having a promotion to other unit, which leads to the training participant having new mentor. Then triangulation result between training participant and training organizer about mentoring are: some mentors have no experience in mentoring and never participate in similar training methods. However, mentor should have been prepared for this kind of activity since it is one of their responsibility on their career position. Mentors are also not well informed about the new regulation of training methods. Hence, deeper explanation is required for mentors to have better understanding of their responsibility as mentor in accordance with applied regulation. Next, conflicts of schedule are sometimes inevitable. However, it is allowed to be rescheduled as required. Next, changes in mentors may occur due to promotion or mentor transfers, or because of internal rotation of trainees before the training is complete. The training organizer allows the participant to make a decision whether to change mentors or to stay with the previous one, of whom enable the participant to communicate and conduct mentoring with. For conclusion, the issues appeared mostly as a cause of lack understanding about the regulation concerning the basic training itself, unclear understanding about the role of coach and mentor, and also the lack of coordination between the training organizer, training participant, and other parties in the coaching mentoring process, and other issues related to administration. Next, coaching and mentoring that has been implemented as a part of basic training. These last few years are aimed to introduce the training participants to a much more aggressive and interactive learning methods, in addition to the classical learning method in class. Next, by performing coaching and mentoring, the training participants were encouraged to think about new idea, express and discuss the idea, and invent a solution semi-privately with their coach and mentor. Advantages of coaching and mentoring as learning method are, however, proven, aside from some issues emerge. As a recommendation for the training organizer, 1. Consider to conduct an in-house training for all the parties involved in the coaching and mentoring, including coach, mentor, master of trainer, examiner, and facilitator about the regulation of current basic training. Second, manage to publish a guidebook that would explain everything about coaching and mentoring based on the applied regulation. Third, set a proper and standard ratio between coach and coachee, as well as mentor and mentee, to improve the quality of coaching and mentoring. And fourth, advance the quality of service given by the training organizer to the training participant, especially concerning administration process and documentation. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you for your attention and goodbye.